Hello inspiring Charitam fans. How are you doing? We bring stories that are unique and inspirational. This story is about a woman who finds herself to be the other woman. Her past history didn't help her either. But even in the darkest moment, you find a path to recovery. Let's hear it. Rose had a troubled childhood. Her mother remarried when she was just 6. Her mother got pregnant with her stepfather's child, and she left her dad for her stepfather. Rose's bio dad was traumatized by this event and he left the state and later the country. Even though he kept in touch with Rose, but they never had a very close relationship. Her stepfather was a jerk of man. He was abusive and alcoholic. But her mother never left him. Her brother had a very similar childhood as well, and as grew up, he fell into the traps of drugs. Rose left her mother's place after turning 18. She could not put up with more trouble. All her relationships were also quite bad. She absolutely despised cheaters. She had 2 cheaters at home, and she never really admired and respected them both for what they did to her father. She always resented her mother for taking away her father from her. Whenever she got any hint of cheating from any relationship, she just walked away. There was a huge trust issue and she never really trusted anyone. But eventually, she met someone online. Rooney seemed a very nice guy and was from the same town. After talking online for about a couple of months, they decided to meet. They had a very strong connection. Rooney hated cheaters too, and they often discussed the subject of infidelity in detail. Rooney seemed a man who was out of the league. He didn't only listen to Rose, but also helped her cope with the trauma she faced in her childhood. He was talking to her about relationships, religion, career. Rose was on the 7th sky. She finally found someone worth trusting. Rooney never moved in with her, even though they discussed it quite a few times. He apparently was living with his parents and they were quite sick. He didn't want to leave them at that time. He also told that his parents were quite conservative and were racist. He thus delayed the meeting of Rose and his parents. He never used any social media and all the communication used to happen through the phone. He would visit Rose every day and would spend either Saturday or Sunday with him. They would go shopping, gaming, and bar hopping as well. It was a fairy tale of relationships. Rooney did everything correctly. There were few weekends where he would not come and say that his parents were not well. There were few things that didn't seem right, but for the first time, Rose felt loved, desired, and happy. She kept ignoring things. One weekend, her roommate went to a local mall and found Rooney with a woman. She was shocked to see him, but could not get a closer view of the woman. Her roommate came back and immediately told Rose. It was hard to digest, but Rose felt shocked and terrible. "Not again," she said. They decided to get some more proof before confronting him. So, the next day invited him and few more girls to their house for a house party. Rooney came along and everyone was having a good time. Rose's roommate all of a sudden came and asked Rooney if he could unlock and give his phone so that she can plug in and play some music. Her phone apparently died out. Rooney was quite drunk and he handed his phone. Rose quickly went and engaged him and her roommate took all the screenshots of the messages possible. They would have never thought about what they saw on the phone. Rooney had a beautiful wife and a 3-year-old daughter. Rose has always been the other woman in the relationship. He was actually cheating on his wife with Rose and she went crazy. She could not digest this. She hated cheaters all along and unknowingly she was now one of them. It just messed up her head. But she wanted to teach Rooney a lesson. She wanted to destroy him for playing her like a fool, but at the same time, she didn't want to mess her up to life more. She already had the phone number of the wife from the screenshots. She wanted to know how many lies had this man manufactured. She called his wife the next day. It took a good amount of time for Rose to convince her that it was not a prank call. Rose insisted that they should meet and not tell her husband a thing. They met the next day and Rose told her everything. She showed her all the photos and text conversations. Her wife was crying throughout. She yelled at Rose and verbally abused her. Rose took everything and cried. Rose finally told that it wasn't only her that got cheated on, she was cheated too. She told him how he manufactured the parents' story every time Rooney was with his wife. It was clear that Rooney's parents were in a different state. He did not even visit them in a couple of years. He had a 3-year-old daughter who adores him. It broke Rose's heart. She cried and cried. She felt for the child. She went through the same and could not comprehend that how could she end up in such a position. She blamed herself for missing red flags. Rose was crushed. She provided all the information that Rooney's wife needed and apologized to her for the last time before she left. The next few days were guilt-ridden for her. She is depressed and mentally exhausted from going through this. She already blocked Rooney from every possible platform. She never heard from him either. Rose heard from Rooney's wife once after 7 days. She thanked her for letting her know about the affair. Rooney and his wife decided to work on their marriage for good. His wife requested Rose not to contact her again as they step into the journey of reconciliation. Rose wished her well and blocked her as well. She would have never forgiven a liar and a cheater. But that was his wife's decision. It was taxing for her. She has undone most of her horrid memories of childhood after she met Rooney, but now it was so immense that she was barely functional. Her view of hating a cheater transferred into hating men. Unfortunately, she wasn't very financially stable, and affording therapy was very hard. She was fighting her demon within herself. But when she told everything to her dad, he offered to support her financially for the therapy. He even came down to visit her and comforted her. They could create a bond again. Unfortunately, her father wasn't a rich man either. He worked in the Middle East but wasn't earning a lot. Her wave of depressions, anger, and panic kept her away from everything else for a good 1 year. But slowly she got into a better job with insurance that covered therapy. It took around another year of therapy for Rose to come to terms and accept the reality. But eventually, she moved on. She met a guy in a local seminar and they developed feelings for each other. It has been 6 years since she is married to him and they share 2 beautiful sons. Rose kept in touch with his mother, but it was only a formal connection. She never forgave her. Her dad came to her wedding. He was finally moved to the country and had a very close bonding with his grandchildren. He is a happy man too now. Rose insisted her dad go to therapy and after all these years, he went. He is dating again and Rose cannot be happier for him. We often come across people who sabotage everything that we have dreamt of. But you never give up on the dreams, because dreams are yours, not someone else's. Betrayal can make you feel lost sometimes, but if you keep pushing, you would come victorious. What do you think about the story? Please share the feedback and your suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever a new video is uploaded. Please check the other videos in the channel too. Stay healthy and happy. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching.